Hello, welcome to another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. I'm your host, Jennie Lyon, and I am so excited today to talk about some of the best ways to drive free organic traffic to your website. So when it comes to website traffic, organic is my favorite. And that's not just because I run an earth-friendly eco blog. Did you know that about me? But in digital marketing, organic traffic refers to folks who visit your website from unpaid sources, like Google searches or your regular social media posts or email marketing. And unlike paid traffic that comes from Facebook ads or Google ads or other kinds of advertising, organic traffic is, well, free. And well, that is free in terms of money, right? So you need to invest time, effort, and energy into generating organic traffic, but the payoff is more than worth it. There are dozens of ways to boost your organic traffic to your website, but many small business owners probably lack the time to put them into action. So that's where someone like myself comes in. We can put together an organic traffic strategy that will boost your search engine ranking and drive more of your ideal customers to your website. So let's jump into some of my favorite techniques. First up is to implement effective SEO strategies. Boosting where your website shows up in search engine results is one of the best ways to increase organic traffic. So if searchers can't find your website without having to dig through dozens and dozens of results and pages, then, they will be much more likely to click, especially if you can get to the very top of some of those search results, then, well, you're sitting pretty. And getting to the top, however, that isn't easy. That's not just going to automatically happen, right? So you definitely will see countless experts online telling you that they have the surefire instant SEO strategy that's going to boost your search results and it's going to get you to the number one spot overnight. But I'm going to tell you the truth. It's hard. It is hard. Google and other search engines are really juggling dozens of factors when it comes to getting the best search results to their customers. So their algorithms are constantly being updated to provide exactly what these folks are searching for. So if you've been neglecting SEO up until this point, then it may take a while to undo, what's been done. Implementing SEO strategies that are effective is really a long-term method of boosting organic traffic, but it's arguably one of the best, and one of the most important. So the first thing you might want to do is sit down and do a website audit to see where you can improve your current SEO. Then from that audit, you can really start to see the places where you can improve. You can improve your web copy, ad copy, plug in relevant keywords and key phrases. Are your images labeled properly? Are your pages labeled properly? Are you including quality links and references throughout the site? There's a lot to it. So that's something that I do for all of our customers, pretty much all of them, is auditing their website, auditing their online presence to see how can we improve the overall functionality of the website. And of course, SEO is part of that. And then over time, Google will start to notice these improvements of your site and they'll start to raise your search engine ranking. And like I said, it's not something that happens overnight, but it is probably one of the most crucial steps that you can take to get more organic traffic to your website over time. And then next up is writing insatiable content, right? So many small business owners, probably don't ask themselves the most critical question about their website, right? Why should people want to go there? So they probably think of their website as maybe an expensive online billboard ad. And while yes, there is definitely that component, the reality is that most visitors to your website aren't going because they want to look at a brochure. They want valuable information and valuable content, and if your website isn't providing both, then they're probably going to click off. And the best way to get people to your website and keeping them coming back is to create that really insatiable content. There should always be something new on your website. Every time someone comes back to your website, you want them to be able to find something new, right? So it could be whatever your weekly content is, right? Maybe you write a weekly blog, maybe you do a weekly podcast or YouTube videos, whatever it is that you're creating all of this really great content, you want people to come back for it over and over again. So what goes into creating a great topic for your site, that's going to drive engagement and traffic? Well, most people are doing searches to find answers to their questions. So let's say that they're looking for information about how to drive organic traffic to their website. So in that case, Google might provide them with a link to, I don't know, maybe this blog post or this podcast, this video. And as I've used effective SEO techniques and provided answers to their question, so, you can see how that can really work. So when you're creating blog topics or podcast topics, you want to try to think about the questions that your customers might actually type into a search bar. What are those questions that they're going to sit down and type in? That's what you want to rank for. And likewise, you can also use Q&A strategy when creating YouTube or other audio content, like Clubhouse content. You can ask yourself what kinds of things your customers need, then record your video tutorial to help them achieve that. And YouTube is a fantastic content method that can really drive traffic directly from the video to your website. And another strategy to create new content is to update your older content or expired content. I occasionally do this with my blog. Every year I go back and I look through everything that's happened the previous year. And because digital marketing moves so quickly, I can easily see that, some older blogs from, sometimes even last year or a few years ago, they're out of date. And I like to spend some time updating those, especially if they're really popular ones that people are still, accessing on a regular basis. I want to make sure that they're updated with the most useful information so that when someone does visit that page, it's current and it's updated. So you should probably be doing the same thing for your own ancient content. So next up is to speak to your customers. So another method of building your brand and driving organic traffic is to start doing some sort of public speaking, right? So ideally that might be at like virtual events or conferences, wherever you can really start to speak about your specific expertise. And, public type speaking really isn't an option right now, due to COVID, but there are, other ways that you can really get that same effect. And that's through those virtual outreach methods. So for example, you could create, free webinars or free workshops, free online courses, and you can really reach out to many, even more of those same people who attended conferences before. Many people are using the pandemic to learn and to grow, which means that it really is the golden age for online education methods like online courses and webinars. And these online speaking events are excellent at driving potential customers to your website or your landing pages. And when you work with someone like our team to create something like a webinar, something that requires a massive amount of research, copywriting, graphic design, tech support, you can really better position yourself as an expert online. And the same goes for online courses, whether it's a free online course or a paid online course. Of course, the trick is that you need to put in the time and the effort to create those online resources that your customers really want. And the good news is that once you complete it, then you can use it as evergreen content and use it over and over and over again. In fact, a free webinar, it makes an amazing freebie that you can offer on your website, and you can offer it elsewhere as well, your email list, social media marketing, and you can create a funnel with it. And that's really what I like to do with any type of really great free information that I have that people really love and want to consume. Create a sales funnel. You might also want to create a podcast. I did that and it's been going really well. I started my podcast and my YouTube channel at the same time, and I'm getting a lot of traffic from both of them. And a lot of compliments too. So that's kind of fun. So next up is getting social, right? So in my opinion, social media is one of the key ways to drive organic traffic straight to your website. And the best part is that for the most part, social media is free, depending on the social media platforms that you're using. But in my opinion, you should probably test out and see, where is your audience hanging out? Those are the social media platforms that you want to spend your time and energy on. So, for example, Instagram, right? So I'm a massive fan of Instagram, and I have been working really hard over the last several months to build my following and my engagement there with really great success. And I know I've said this before, but Instagram reminds me of what Facebook was years and years and years ago. I mean, I remember when Facebook first came out, and it was kind of just games and videos, audio, and fun type stuff, right? It wasn't as controversial as it is now. And instead, it really limits people to photos and graphics and short videos. And that's the kind of content that people really seem to engage with. And so if you want to drive traffic to your site, then you should be posting content on Instagram that your followers want to see too. So that might be your blog posts or your webinars, your online courses, your podcast, your videos. While you can't really add clickable links within your posts, you can inside of your bio, right? So you can put all of your links inside of your bio so that it's kind of that catch-all, right? It's where people can find more information. So at the end of all of my posts, I will have some sort of call to action, right? So it's to schedule a free consultation, or, read a blog that's all about this type of content, or grab this freebie that will show you how to do X, Y, and Z. But all of those links are right in the bio, where people can, click right into the bio, get the information that they want, and they're off to your website. And the next one is one that I see people skip over and over again, which is leveraging LinkedIn's publishing platform. I see this over and over. I talked to a client yesterday about this, so it pops up all the time. LinkedIn is way more than an online resume. I mean, some would argue that it's one of the most effective tools for connecting with your core audience, depending on your target market. It seems like most everyone is connected on LinkedIn, right? I see that over and over again. And you see recent updates to the platform have moved it to be much more in line with other networks. So it's starting to look and feel a lot more like Facebook, and you're starting to see that kind of framing there with the design. But it is a fabulous place to post all of your ready to go content for sure. I post all of my social posts there, but I post all of my videos, my blogs, my podcasts there. And to really get the most out of that content, you really want to post it to LinkedIn's publishing site. It's basically another place that you can post your blog, your, whatever content it is. And you want to kind of rewrite it a bit, because obviously LinkedIn is a different audience. So you want to make sure that, it has a little bit of a different feel to it. And then you might also want to consider posting your content to other marketing sites, maybe to Medium. That online publishing platform really features long form content written by professionals and amateurs alike. It's kind of like long form Twitter, right? But you should definitely check it out. I get a lot of traction there as well, and a lot of really great interaction. So it's just another place to repurpose content that you're already creating to get it out to even more people. So let's kind of recap what we talked about today, right? So organic traffic refers to the traffic that comes to your website from unpaid sources. And effective SEO strategies are not overnight fixes. However, they are 100% necessary if you want organic traffic. So you always want to ask yourself, why would people want to come to my website? And that answer should be content, right? So you want to consider creating really valuable content that people can easily consume. So whether it's a podcast, a blog post, a webinar, online course, whatever it is that's really going to drive even more people to your website. And social media is probably one of the most potent methods of fueling organic traffic. So you want to post stuff that your followers want to actually engage with. And don't forget, don't underestimate LinkedIn's potential as a publishing platform. If you're not publishing on LinkedIn, start this week. But don't post exactly the same content that you're posting everywhere else on LinkedIn. Remember that LinkedIn's more of a professional platform, so you might want to do some editing to the content that you're sharing there. And if you're going to be driving organic traffic to your website, it can't look like it has since 2012. Website design moves super fast, and nothing can drive customers away like a website that is really dated or hard to navigate or just boring, And to figure out what you might need to fix on your site, I do have a free download. I'll leave it for you in the links below. I have a ultimate step-by-step website audit workbook, and it basically walks you through everything. I break down all of the sections of your website that you really need to look at and then give you advice on how to update them. And of course, if that is not something that you want to handle yourself, or if you simply want a polished and a professional website without investing a ton of time or energy yourself, then reach out. This is definitely a service that we provide. I'll be happy to go over it with you in a free consultation. And then we can start making your website into a place that will convert visitors into customers the second that they pop onto your page. Well, I hope you found this episode helpful. I hope that at least one of the 6 ways to drive new traffic to your website really talk to you like, oh, I could do that, because you can do this. I mean, these are things that you can definitely incorporate. You don't have to do them all at once, but you can definitely start doing them and start driving some free organic traffic to your website. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you next week.